Hey everyone, let's just dive right into this explainer. We are looking at a massive, massive paradigm shift happening in tech right now. We're at this fascinating crossroads where artificial intelligence is getting baked into literally every aspect of our digital lives, and that fundamentally changes how your personal data is handled. So drawing from a deep dive in Tech Reader magazine, we're going to focus today on how on-device AI is stepping up to the plate to protect your data in a world where that information is incredibly valuable. There is this brilliant quote from the piece that perfectly sets the stakes for us today. At the heart of its AI strategy is a simple, radical idea. Your data belongs to you, not the cloud. For years, the default assumption in tech was that to do anything remotely smart, your data had to be beamed up to some massive server farm hundreds of miles away. But this strategy flips that entirely on its head. Keeping data literally in the palm of your hand, that might just be the most radical tech move of the decade. To break this all down, we're going to follow a quick roadmap. We'll cover the privacy promise, the cloud trade-off, the hybrid safety net, geopolitics, and wrap up with the ultimate test, trust. Let's get into it. Starting off with Section 1, the privacy promise. We are looking at the new status quo for privacy with on-device processing. 27 billion. Just wrap your head around that number for a second. That is the sheer number of parameters in the Prism ML AI model running directly on devices like the iPhone 17 Pro, the iPad, and the Vision Pro. Thanks to dedicated hardware like the Neural Engine, all of this staggering computational power is used to handle voice recognition, suggest text replies, and analyze your photos completely locally. It never sends your personal data over the internet. Oh, and to give you even more peace of mind, physical indicator lights on hardware, like the N50 smart glasses, ensure you always know exactly when those sensors are active. Now, you might be wondering, wait, if it doesn't collect my data, how on earth does the AI actually get smarter? Well, the secret architecture relies on techniques like federated learning and differential privacy. Basically, the system learns patterns right there on your device, and it only shares anonymous, randomized mathematical updates. It never, ever sends the raw data itself. That provides a rock-solid structural guarantee: no upload, no storage, and absolutely no human review of your personal life to train these core models. Moving right along to Section 2, the cloud trade-off. Let's take a look at the traditional cloud models used by other major players, basically where power meets privacy. We're essentially looking at two totally competing philosophies here. The on-device model keeps your data locked down securely in your pocket, right? It adapts without ever peeking at your raw information. But on the flip side, the traditional cloud model trades that strict privacy for immense centralized processing power. That inherently means your data has to leave your device, sit on a server somewhere, and it leaves behind a massive, sometimes totally invisible, data trail. So the big takeaway is that default cloud architectures come with some pretty distinct privacy vulnerabilities. Like, for instance, Google's Gemini can hold on to voice recordings for up to 12 months. And get this, those can be subject to human review by contractors for up to 3 years just to improve accuracy. Or take the class action lawsuit from March 2026. It alleged that Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses were transmitting real-time public video footage straight to a third-party annotation firm in Kenya. Also, remote workers could train AI completely without user notification. It's crazy to think that your everyday queries or video captures can just linger on servers for broad model training like that. But you know what happens when a task is just simply too heavy for a chip that fits in your pocket? That brings us to Section 3, the hybrid safety net. Enter private cloud compute. To solve this whole power versus privacy dilemma, Apple rolled out private cloud compute. Because, let's be real, sometimes you need an AI to summarize a dense 50-page document or generate these highly complex images. Tasks that just blow past mobile hardware limits. Private cloud compute is a specialized server environment built purely as a secure backup for those heavy lifting requests. It all boils down to a very strict workflow. Step 1, the system always tries to do the task locally first. Step 2, only if it's way too demanding does it offload to the cloud, using end-to-end encryption so tight that not even the company hosting it can take a peek. And Step 3, the exact second the task is complete, the data is instantly destroyed, poof, gone. No retention, no backdoors. It makes cloud processing the exception, not the rule. And this is honestly a game changer for folks who rely on heavy AI accessibility tools like real-time summarization or text-to-speech, because they get the performance they desperately need without sacrificing an ounce of control. Zooming out to the macro level, here's Section 4, geopolitics and global impact. Because believe it or not, these underlying tech choices trigger massive international consequences. How you build an AI basically dictates where in the world you can legally operate it. Take China, for example. Their strict data localization rules heavily scrutinize or outright ban models that transfer data across borders to global servers. But an on-device model keeps the data on the local hardware, completely sidestepping the issue. The European Union's AI Act is doing something similar, slapping incredibly strict limits and transparency mandates on systems processing personal or biometric data. So an on-device, local-first approach just naturally plays nice with these tightening global laws, avoiding the absolute regulatory headache that cloud-dependent models are facing right now. So the real so what here is that privacy is no longer just a nice-to-have feature or some catchy marketing slogan. It is literally becoming a strict, mandatory blueprint for global compliance. In a rapidly evolving world of data sovereignty, companies that fail to adapt their architecture away from mass data collection might just wake up one day and find themselves entirely locked out of the world's most lucrative global markets. And that brings us to our final section, Part 5, the ultimate test, trust. This is where we really evaluate the human element, that delicate balance between convenience and safety. Think about it. Every single time we interact with an AI, whether it's talking to a voice assistant, asking it to draft an email, or letting it organize our photos, we are making a silent calculation between convenience and trust. On one hand, some users prioritize pure convenience, actively choosing maximum AI power and totally willing to trade some privacy for a sharper summary or a faster response. But on the other hand, a lot of users, especially those leaning on digital accessibility tools or who are highly protective of their data, demand trust. They require a system that inherently respects their boundaries. They want an AI that listens without leaking and helps without harvesting. At the end of the day, honestly, it doesn't really matter if a local AI crushes a massive cloud AI in some benchmark test. What actually matters is whether people feel safe using it. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one big question to chew on regarding the future of your own digital data. As these systems become deeply integrated into our daily lives, do you want an assistant that knows absolutely everything about you, or one that actually respects your boundaries?